Have you ever wanted to grow your business and you just didn't know how? Well, in today's session, you'll discover how to grow your business with franchising. And we have Idan Shpizear. He is the founder of 911 Restoration Franchise, and that is a disaster restoration franchise ranked among the top franchises in the US by Entrepreneur. In addition to running one of the fastest growing franchises in the country, he's a sought after speaker and thought leader in business and marketing innovations. Now, the first question is, how did you become such a massive success? And how did you think about starting a franchise business to do it? Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Oh, wow. First of all, I honestly feel like I'm just starting in business. So I still have a long way to go with vision and everything and where I want to see things. But how we started is really by understanding who is our customer and kind of the buying cycle. So what the customer is looking for, who is our customers, really understanding his behavior and trying to figure out how can I create the best customer experience for him. So just by keep focusing on that, we became really, really good in marketing and lead generation. And then where I met with other contractors in the restoration space, my thought is like, okay, if I figure out this on my own, if I figure out how to generate leads and help people, can I do it any other place in the United States? So we started creating partnership with local contractors, and we generate the leads for them, and we help them with marketing and sales and really having more of working on the business type of approach. And we see it just working again and again and again. And at one point, we decided to become a franchise.
Wow, that's so interesting. So tell me more about the success of your franchise. Where is it and how many locations do you cover? And give me a little bit more detail about the current success.
Yeah, so currently we have about 120 franchise owners that covering around 330 territories around the United States, and we're growing into Canada. Overall system sale, we are over $100 million in sales. And and we're supporting our franchisees in local business development, national accounts, lead generation. We just keep growing and evolving.
Thank you. So tell us more about what it takes to find the right leads for your business.
Now it's very tricky in our business because this is something that people hoping that it will never happen to them. Right? So people are not thinking, oh, one day my house is going to be flooded or mold, or I need to think about who is the company I'm going to hire, when it's going to happen. People don't want to hear about it. They're not really thinking about it. So it's really important to be there when people need us the most. So that's why for us to figure out what is the search, where people go first when their houses is flooded, when they're having this type of issues. So it's really being there at the right time. Right? Because I need to be there when it happened, and we need to act very, very fast, right? So our goal is to get the call. We have a customer service center that is open 24/7. We'll get a call, we'll dispatch to the franchisee, and we want to get to their house in 45 minutes. So it's really acting and moving really, really fast. So that's really emergencies that comes from residentials. And then we have clients like commercial real estate. Right? Management companies. We have insurance companies that we work with. With them is building relationship, is more of a long-term approach, really understanding who is the key players, really understanding what is the thing that they're trying to achieve as a company and how we can assist them. Right? So we have different approach based on the water damage happened right now, homeowners, real estate management companies, and insurance companies. Right? So we are operating in different silos.
That's so interesting. Can I ask you, let's say if I had some sort of, nightmare happening at home in terms of, house burning down or something, I would never think of calling someone in the middle of the night for you to come in 45 minutes. How did you come up with this idea? And what can you possibly restore when you come in 45 minutes?
So as soon as we get there, it will be better, because as soon as we can get in and starting to remove the furniture, extract the water, dry the areas, we'll have less damages, right? So it's better when people call us as fast as they can. Now, because we started as carpet cleaning and we grew into the water damage, so I spent a lot of time out in the field working with clients, and we understand clients do think to call somebody immediately. Right? Think about somebody wakes up in the morning or in the middle of the night, go downstairs to first floor and is standing in water, right? A lot of time you cannot wait for the morning, right? Because the damages will just gonna get worse and worse and worse. So we're finding out that a big percentage of people will go online and type a water damage or some keyword, right? Or they're gonna go to Yelp based on reviews and on, and they will want the company to come to them as fast as possible. Now, in the beginning, we understand the importance of getting there as fast as we can. So even if a homeowner calls us and says, it's happening now, but I want to go to sleep, so just come in the morning, we always will say, listen, we can be there in 45 minutes. So it's important that we're jumping and taking care of the issue as fast as we can. So that's how we build a culture and kind of like an engine that's really trying to react very fast for the call that comes in.
Thank you. How did you figure out what keywords to target in your marketing, and what kind of ads are you doing to target those keywords? Is it Facebook? Is it Google? Is it LinkedIn? Is it something else that you're using that you're not going to share?
No, it's really all of it, right? So it depends based on the client and when he's going to need us, right? So we use different platform based on building relationship, based on just being there when people need us. But we really figured out the keyword by speaking to our clients, right? So we will actually sit with them and ask, like, what would you type? Or if we gather after we type, we will sit there and spend some time with our clients after we're taking care of the problem, of course. And so, like, what did you search first? What did you find? What did you react on, right? So that's when we face the client. And then online, of course, you can get so much insight, but really understanding keywords and analyzing. We're tracking today everything from the landing page to the keyword to the phone number, and then all the way to the field to see which keyword result in what type of project and what was the conversion on it, right? So we're measuring the entire process, because the goal is not just to set up a marketing campaign and that's it, right? We need to continue optimizing it, right? To make sure that we're efficient with how much we're paying per lead or per click. And at the same time, are we actually being in front of the right clients, and are we bringing the right clients in that will convert into project, right? Because we want to make sure that our franchisees are successful, right? We want to make sure that we're being there for the homeowners, but we want to make sure that the business model is working.
Thank you. How did you figure out who your joint venture partners were going to be? Like the kind of places where people whose houses have been destroyed would go to immediately, let's say.
Yeah. So who is the vendors that we will work with? So for me, it's always go back to how can I provide the best customer experience? How can I add the most value to the person in front of me, right? So I know that, okay, I can take care of this part of the project, but can I bring now a vendor that can help with cleanups, with moving, with finding a hotel room, right? So I build around me a network of vendors when really thinking about our customer. So the customer is always in the middle. And then what else can I put in front of them to make it as a seamless transaction? Because going through a disaster it's an emotional disaster, right? So our goal is to make it as easy as possible. So we'll choose the right system to use so we can communicate with the client. We'll use the right script of how we're going to talk to them, how we're going to really listen to our clients. We'll bring the right vendor around us to make sure that we can help them through the entire process.
Thank you. How did you figure out who your joint venture partners were going to be that were going to bring leads to you?
Okay, that's a lot. Trial and error. We tried so many things. I'm very big on trying, right? So I'll go out there before I'm doing anything big. I'll try in a very small way. So for example, if we want to trial Facebook, for example, so we'll try a few different areas. I'll hire different companies and see, first of all, if it works. And if it works, who is the best company that can generate leads, right? So we just try everything because everything changed so fast. right? So it's really trial and error. It's really, we gave a chance to somebody, we tried for some time. You don't have to go with a big budget. You can start with small budget, right? See if it works, because it's all need to fit into a model, right? I know that we need to spend X amount of money, and this is what we need to generate from it. What's the conversion? What's the keyword? What type of client? And then we just keep trying different things and see what works.
Thank you. So in terms of the property managers, do they tend to bring you a lot of leads, or what kind of joint venture partners tend to bring you the most leads?
So the simplest way to look at it is, who is the company that manage the most amount of real estate, right? So there's companies that, I mean, here in the US, there's companies that manage millions of square feet, right? And we know based on the amount of real estate that they manage, that is the opportunities for us to generate work, right? So we work with different commercial real estate based on their size, based on what type of client that they're working with, right? And we understand, now we've been doing it for so many years, so we understand what's the potential from each client. But really the easiest way to look at it is X company manage Y amount of square feet, right? Because a lot of people tend to spend a lot of time on companies that manage a little bit of square feet. So it maybe it's going to take me the same amount of time to win that client or in that client, right? Because I need to go through the entire process, but they manage 2 buildings, and this company manage 1,000 buildings. Make sense?
Yes. How can entrepreneurs sort of extrapolate your knowledge around franchising to make it useful for their business?
So first of all, it's to really understand what is their strengths and weaknesses, and what is the thing that they really want to do, right? Not just follow a trend, not just go into something because it sounds exciting, because, you know, even when you join a franchise, there's work that need to be done. Yes, you're going to have the business model and the brand and everything else. But I see too often people that, you know, come into our industry because they just saw a storm coming in and they saw the opportunity. So they got excited and now they want to sign in with us. And I'm like, hold on. Can you really see yourself doing it for the next 7, 10, 14 years? Do you really understand what needs to be done every day? So that is where they have to start. Right. So once you are aligned with your strength and weaknesses, and understand, okay, I can apply myself and I can see how I can make it happen. And this franchise that I'm going to get myself into match into my kind of my day to day, the way I want it to be. Right. Because, for example, in our business, if you are operating the business, you will get called at 2 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, and you need to get up and go. You can go to dinner with your family and you will get a phone call. And if you have nobody else to go, you need to go, right? So that is example. This is something that people need to think about. And now the second part is to really understand what's the value that you're getting from the brand. That's really important. So having a conversation about training, having a conversation about support, building a team, what type of support and help are you going to get from the franchisor, right, to be able to build your business? And are they going to be able to support you in the first 3 months and also in 12 months after, right? Because there's different stages of growth. So it's important for entrepreneurs that want to get into a franchise to really ask these questions, and also understand the lead generation. That now, not necessarily every franchise will help you with lead generation, but another things that we do and other franchise systems do as well is really work with you and train you on how to build your business locally, where you are. You get out there, you build relationship. Who do I build relationship with? What is the pitch? How do I, get in front of the right people? Are you going to help me get in front of the right people? Is the brand itself have enough power to really help me, to really open some door for me? Right? So this is the question that people need to ask, collecting the information, and then kind of take the business model and see how everything fits in to really for you as the entrepreneur to be able to reach the goals. So let's say I'm saying I want to build a business to do $1 million in the second year, and then I want to build it into $10 million. Does the business model can support the growth that I want to see? Right? So this is more objective, really putting a business plan, really looking at the different parts of it. There is so many people out there that will join a franchise, and I'll ask them, like, why did you join a franchise? Oh, I really like the logo. I really like the color. I really connected with the salesperson. I'm like, okay, this is great, but do you understand the business model? Do you actually see how the numbers and everything else will support kind of your dream of where is it that you want to be? Oh, I didn't really think about it. I was like, okay, but you're getting into a business. You're going to put the next 7 years or 14 years of your life in this thing. Let's make sure that you're really seeing how it's going to work for you.
Thank you. Why should entrepreneurs consider growing their business with franchising?
Oh, look, if I'm going to get now to a new business, and let's say I'm brand new to the business and I did some research, it's going to take me time to figure out how to do the business, who I need to talk to. I'm buying, how many mistakes are we making as we're starting a new business? When you join a franchise, they probably did all of the work for you. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Here is the vendors, here is everything. So it's going to save you a lot of time. That's one. Because it takes time to do this thing. Franchise will make it much, much easier and shorter. The second part, you're starting with a brand. So you're not starting from zero. You have a brand, you're recognized, you're a part of a bigger brand right now, right? A lot of companies, a lot of national accounts and big clients prefer today to work with franchise system because they know that there is support. They know, for example, if our guy in Long Island, New York, for example, got now a large loss, and he needs to bring now 20 technicians and a lot more equipment. We have franchisees in the areas when they all can come together, right? So that's the third reason. The fourth, you are part now of a family. You're part of a community that called 911 Restoration or whatever franchise you're going to join, that you can now collaborate and talk with other business owners that in your shoes, in a way, part of the same brand, they're not competing with you. And so, for example, in our system today, we have brand new franchisees and we have franchisees that, build nice sized businesses and everything in between. So, for example, if I'm doing $500,000 or $1 million in revenue and I want to grow to 1.5 or $2 million, I can reach to other franchisees in the system and talk to them about this, what I'm going through. That is the difficulties. How did you do it? Do you have some suggestions for me? So now, not only that you have our franchise support, our coaches, now you're a part of a network. So if you think about the brand, if you think about the starting the business, the ongoing part of the business, the ability to gain national accounts, bigger clients, it's much, much easier when you do it through a franchise.
Thank you. What about for entrepreneurs that are considering growing their business with franchising? What I mean by that is to turn their business into a franchise. Why should they do that?
So we do a lot of people that are already in the restoration space that want now to convert the business to be part of our franchise. And the reason they're doing it because they reached a ceiling, right? So they were able to grow their business, let's say, to 600,000 in sales. And for the past 10 years, they're trying to break through that ceiling and they keep getting stuck, right? Because they don't have the right branding, they don't have the right marketing. So they will join us. And really what they're saying is, listen, I understand that I kind of reached my ceiling. I cannot grow above it. So they want to join us to really now cross to the other side. And this is where we can help them. Right? So it can be with leads. It can be, there's so many people that don't really think about the business part. They're very good at the trade side of the business, right? One of the reasons that I kind of starting franchising my business is because I saw a lot of great people that been in business for, 10, 15 years, and they're doing, 6 to 800,000 in revenue, even 4 to 800,000 in revenue. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm brand new to this country and I'm already at $3 million. What is it that they're missing, right? They know much more than me. What's going on here? And then I realized that they're really passionate about the trade itself. So they will talk to me about the drywall and the blowers and the dehumidifiers and on and on. And I'm like, okay, but what about the business? Like, you need to look at it as a business and see how to grow it to the next level, right? So a lot of people will come to us as like, okay, I reached my ceiling. How can I grow?
Thank you. I was referring more like, imagine, let's say I have a publishing business, okay? I want to turn that into a franchise. Why do you think it's a good idea for me?
Oh, if you want to turn your business
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So why should someone like an entrepreneur, whether they have, let's say, a property management business or whatever kind of business, why should they consider turning that into a franchise? Is it a good idea? And if yes, what benefits are there for doing that?
Okay, so first of all, the growth ability through franchising is much faster and is not as expensive. So let's say I had my first office here in LA, and I want to open 10 more offices. Now I need to find managers. I need to, there's a lot of investment that I need to put in every location that I need to open. And now I work with a lot of managers. And my thought was, okay, can I work with business owners, not with managers? And I'll build the model, I'll build the support team, and they can use, basically, they're coming in with their money and they're building their own business. So if you build a good business in the area that you're in and you now want to really scale the business, franchising can be a great way to do it. And it's much less expensive than doing it on your own. Right. So first of all, it's much less expensive. Now, the second part is you work with other business owner, you work with other entrepreneur that wakes up in the morning and they want the business to be successful. You're not just having managers everywhere to manage the business. It's very different. Right. So the first part is really for, people out there that really figured out the business and the model is working, the marketing, they're really seeing, okay, if I invest $10, I can create $100. And this is the profit that I can create, and I can do it again and again and again and again. That is a great business. Now, can I now put it in a box, for example? I can create the support around it. I create a lead generation. I can now take the same model and I can copy paste it to a different city in the United States, and it's going to work exactly the same. If they have that part, franchising makes a lot of sense. Grow faster, not as expensive. Now, one of the problems that we see a lot out there, so it's very small percentage of franchisors out there that get to be above, I think, 50 locations, right? So most of them will turn the business into a franchise, will grow into 10 or 15 offices, and usually will close it off. When you are starting a franchise, it's a different business. It's not the same business. So now you have the business that actually, we'll call it the business model, right? The business that you started that you put $10, you make 100, for example. But now you're starting a new business that's called a franchising. Most people don't understand that they need to operate. They have these two different hats because now you're basically a business opportunity. You're becoming a coach for other entrepreneurs, and you're teaching them how to take your business model and copy it for the place that they're in. So it's a very important part. 80% of the people, I think, will start the franchise and then go back to their one office because they cannot make that shift.
Thank you. What's the minimum revenue that you believe is important to make before you think about growing your business with franchising?
It's really, I know franchise systems that are built for one-man show. They can make anywhere between $20,000-$30,000 a month, and people are super happy to buy into the franchise, right? So the revenue will be $500,000-$600,000 a year, right? So it's really all over the place, right? There's franchise system that you can buy, and it's very inexpensive, and you become a coach or you become even a franchise coach. It's also a franchise system, right? It's a very inexpensive, and the revenue doesn't have to be that high. You just need to understand that who is my client, who is going to be my franchisee, and what his revenue goals, right? So I can build something that is very inexpensive, and it's not something that will get to $1 million or $10 million a year type of business. Businesses that will make $300,000-$400,000, it's going to be for one-man show, and out of the $300,000, he can make $150K a year. So I don't think there is really a minimum. You just need to make sure that your franchisee, whoever it is, need to make enough money.
Thank you. What's the typical percentage that the franchisor tends to keep? Is it a percentage or is it an upfront fee? And if it's an upfront fee, how much does it tend to be if you consider the amount that they tend to make? So let's say if the franchisee is likely to make $500K plus is there like a fixed fee, and how much does that tend to be?
Yeah. So there's two fees. One is the franchise fee, is when you're buying into the franchise, and then there is the initial investment, right? So franchise fee can be anywhere. I mean, there's all over the place, but let's say 20, 30,000, and with some of them can be much more expensive, but let's say 20, 30,000 to 60,000 can be usually the franchise fee on average. Beside the franchise fee, so the franchise fee will go to the franchisor. And then beside that, there is the investment of getting into the business, right? So you need to buy trucks, you need to rent an office. If you open a restaurant, it's much, much bigger investments, and on and on. And then there is the ongoing royalties. The royalties can be anywhere between 4% to 12 or 13%, depends on the business. And then even with the royalty, it can be broken down to different elements. So some companies have a 6% base plus a lot of different percentage that would be on top of it. If you need help with marketing, if you need help with commercial accounts, then they build and add more percentage on top of it. And there's some companies that do just flat fee, right? So there's some companies that will say, look, that's the business. You pay the franchise fee per territory that you're buying from us. Your monthly payment to us will be $500, for example. Regardless of your sale, if you sell 5,000, you sell 100,000, that's what the fee is going to be. So it's really all over the place, but it's what is common to everybody is there is the initial fee and ongoing fee. And this ongoing fee will be broken down based on marketing, lead generation, and other areas that you need as a support.
Thank you. How can franchisees ensure that they meet the legal requirements of being part of the franchise? Because I think you have some obligations, right, to kind of stick to the brand, or to do, I don't know, to cook the food in a certain way, or to deliver stuff in a certain way, because otherwise you could get in trouble. Is it the franchisee only, or is it the franchisor that can get into a lot of trouble for not sticking to certain rules? And how can franchisors prevent issues from happening?
So a lot of it is training, right? So we have 2 weeks training, and then we have training before and training after and ongoing training. So it's really training, and the communication with the franchisees, right? If somebody buy into a franchise system, I mean, hopefully buys and you understand that is the system is successful and it's working. So why to try to change things now, right? So we usually tell the franchisees that come in, just follow what the training says. That's the manual, that's the training that stays with it. And then every so often, I mean, it's not every so often, we have different committees that will have a discussion with our franchisees, like, okay, if you have ideas, how can we optimize it? How can we do it better? Can we change it, right? Because we understand it's all about keep evolving and improving and changing everything. And the franchisees that are in the field really have great feedback because they are interacting with the clients every day, right? So training, communicating with the franchisees back and forth, having committees that really communicate the feedback from the field, from the franchisee to the franchisor. But it's really the most successful system out there. It's all about collaboration.
Thank you. That's so interesting. That was a very interesting episode. And I wonder about the leads. So do you give the franchisees a certain provider of marketing? So let's say, do they have to use a certain agency in order to run the ads? Or do you just say, okay, the ads should be done a certain way. This is the kind of thing that has worked for us in the past. And feel free to use any agency as long as they use our kind of template. What do you normally do?
Well, okay, so this is what we do. So when we 2003 is when I started a business, and then we start advertising online, right? Google AdWords and many other platforms. At one point early, I mean, it worked very, very well for us. At one point, a lot of people came to me and says, okay, can you do the same thing for my business? So what I did, I created a marketing agency, right? So before we became a bigger franchise, I did marketing for many businesses in the home service industry. So we kind of built our own agency with Google, and we had a lot of relationship with other platforms. So we manage and we do a lot of the lead generation for our franchisees. Now, they don't have to do it only with us. So we will give them the template, we'll give them the marketing material, we'll support them. We're going to even be part of helping them choose the right marketing agency. But with us, most of our franchisees are doing it through us. It's just part of the service that we offer them, because when we manage all the lead generation through one hub as an agency, we have so much insight into conversion, keyword, what's new in the market, what trades now are coming in. Right now a big storm is coming into Miami area, to Florida, not Miami, right? So we understand now how to act as a company, how to make sure that we are covering the whole areas. If the clients need us, they know where to find us, right? So going back to the beginning, can be done by the franchisor, can be done by agencies that you want to choose with, but we're a big part in supporting you, making sure that you're doing it right.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.